Well, hello there. It's time for the fastest live stream west of the Mississippi. I'm Artisan MC. This is CArtisan MC. Like, share, subscribe, support your feel so inclined. And back across the bottom of the screen to you, not me. I know who I am. You can find me support the game. So, done with work today. Heading home late. About 2 hours late. Now I was thinking about some stuff. Got a comment from this morning's stream explaining to me how new age rappers speak in innuendo. And I just loathe people explaining simple shit to me. Like I haven't been on this earth, if not as long, longer than them. Just love that shit. The shit oof, just fills me with so much fucking disgust. So I responded back politely because, that's who I am. But I started thinking about it is that I still don't muster a fuck to give about the beef. And if even knowing that now new age rappers do a lot of innuendos and sneak disses, to me that still sounds pussy. It just still sounds pussy to me. Especially if they supposed to be tough street motherfuckers. Especially if that. Now, I can give them the caveat to understand that you might need a little bit of code to speak in because you know, the ops as they call it nowadays is always listening on this shit. And half of these goofballs get caught up from talking on from shit that they heard off they fucking Google or some shit like that. Sorry. But at the same time, if you beefing, then beef. If you're not beefing, shut up. Because that's for me, that's just how it is. I'm I've never been a mostly kind of hate. No, man. If you hate that motherfucker, hate him. If you don't. It's your choice. But this wishy-washy, maybe if I feel like it, maybe if you understand, maybe if you take it the wrong way shit, is a waste of goddamn time. Life is too short to be playing all them goddamn games. They got to be real stressful. Real stressful. Has to be. Because you're never actually living out or embracing the totality of what the hell you think and feel. You never fully own it, right? It's like this. Say I'm sitting down with a woman and we're talking and the conversation is going good. And I get the vibe that something is possible to happen on that next level, right? If she turns to me and asks me while we're sitting here talking, what are you thinking about right now? There's two ways I can answer that shit. I can give a PC answer, which is, some old bullshit or something that sounds smooth or, you know, have an innuendo thrown to it. Or I can be straight up and tell her, I was just thinking about what it would be like to hear you moaning my name in my ear. Flat out. Now she's gonna make a choice either way, right? The fact that she's sitting there having a conversation that's going good with me means she already partly made that choice. She's just waiting on the iffy train to see if I say anything to fuck it up. If I'm gonna say anything to make her think, man, maybe I'll regret this. Maybe the fuck you will. So what? You either gonna live life or you gonna watch life. That's it. You're either going to embrace what it is that you want, what you think, what you need, and be able to voice it, or you're going to always be trying to hide, play behind the bush, and like, oh man, I don't want that. No. Why would I want to be naked, sweating and humping with you? No, of course not. The fuck up. It's the same way with having beef with people. Well, I don't like you. I don't like you. It is not that I'm some fearsome motherfuckers in the streets or nothing like that. No, it's just what it is. I'm just me. I don't have to like you. And if I don't, I don't. It's very fucking clear. I don't see the point in pretense. Pretense is a waste of time. That's why I don't have a problem with people that don't fucking like me. Damn, what's your problem? I'm cool as fuck. I'm cool as fuck. You got an issue. You need to work on that. Long trip on a short couch. Get some therapy. I'm not going to spend a lot of time concerned about it, but at least I know. And knowing that, I can still talk to him. I can still talk to him everything else because I'll joke with him about it. And hey, can you do me a favor for this? I know you hate me, but you think you can put that shit aside for a hot second so we can get this done? Oh man, you bullshit. That bullshit. You said you hate me, man. I'm just taking you at your word. Can we do something else? Or is that hate too strong for you to be able to help, bro? Look, for me, and I realize this is not everybody thinks or operates that way. But for me, it's very clear. I fuck with you, I fuck with you. Until said time when I decide I don't want to fuck with you. But I'm a pretty low person. So I might fuck with you for life. Plain and simple. If I don't, I just don't. It's good. Don't mean I gotta hate you. Don't mean I gotta wish death on you and everything you love. It don't mean that at all. Just mean no, I may not help you. You don't have to bother. That shit is set in stone for me. So not a popular book, but it is what it is. Now this goes into understanding people, right? Some people like to play the middle because they never want to make a decision one way or the other, right? They're always looking to see what side that bread is buttered on, or who they can piss off, and who ass they have to kiss. Right? Now, we finally got our new director today. Interested in all these people sitting there, sitting and grinning, looking happy as shit. You got a pot-belly white boy. Okay. So I finally got to meet this dude. Shake his hand, look at him, and talk to him. Less than a minute. His first question out of my mouth was how long I've been there. Which to me, I already know what that means. Yeah, how long I've been there. They asked me how I like my supervisor. Like my supervisor fine. Was that a lie? No. I think he a decent enough dude just to be a guy. Decent enough. He's funny, quirky. No. I deal with it. He's kind of entertaining. Here's a way that he is entertaining, right? Doing home inspections, right? Meaning I go through people's homes and see what's wrong and make a list of things that need to get fixed. And then somebody next week that looks like me gets to come back to these people's house and fix all the shit using a lot of my skills. Yeah. Well, at one place, there's a little pest problem, and there was a sticky trap down there. Since me and the resident are having a good, cordial conversation, a little light, you know, joking around and stuff like that, I told him he had a couple of uninvited guests that decided to stay permanently behind his stove. Like, oh, I said, yeah, if you give me a bag, I'll dispose of it. And basically, it was a glue trap with a mouse and some other visitors stuck in it. Now, the other visitors was a brown recluse spider, dead, and a couple of millipedes. I thought it was entertaining myself, right? So I took a picture of it, put it in the group chat to the rest of my coworkers, and made a joke and said, "Hey, question, what do you call this?" Got, two niddles on that little query out of, I think, like 20, 30 people, whatever. That's how they respond to me talking and that shit. They'll blabber about shit all day. I say something, I'm gonna get quiet. You know, I put the answer in there. I said, this is the exterminators, or excuse me, it's the not exterminators, pest control garden ladder, right? Or sample ladder, pest control sample ladder. I had some of everything in that sticky trap. One of the story, my supervisor saw this picture. He didn't believe it was real. So he wanted to see the trap. Okay. And later on, when I brought this trap to him in his office and set it on his desk in a bag, he opened that bitch up and looked right at it closely. And I'm looking at this dude thinking, he is such an odd dude. That's how I'm looking at him, like, he's such an odd dude. This motherfucker has no fear of anything that creeps and crawls or anything. Dead or otherwise, he don't give a shit. He'll handle it, he'll pick it up, just unafraid. And I think that's kind of interesting because that's something that's rare in people. Nowadays, there were a lot of folks, a lot of dudes scared of silly shit. Really silly shit. And so I'm sitting here just amazed sometimes by him because I see the child of the young boy in him. And he has kids. I sit there and watch him. I think his kids must have a good time with him. He must be fun as shit. Because he stresses on this job. I don't know how he got pushed up into that position, but I know he don't like it. I know he doesn't like it. But he doesn't. So my opinion of him is based on these moments that I've seen like that outside of doing this work. So my overall opinion of him is, yeah, he cool. I like it. Which is not a lot. But if you ask me something about, work related, I would tell you, well, he ineffective in these ways. What's good, Techie? And Aria. And that's just me being real. Because he has more positive points than negatives. And if you go to bat for me, you got my respect. I definitely would go to bat for you. Oh, so I'm standing there with the new dude. He asked me that question. I thought it was kind of a leading question because my supervisor didn't believe me. He said, "Oh, he's just trying to make a joke and saying, oh yeah, I paid him good money for that." I told him, no, you didn't. The check ain't cashed yet. I'm thinking about my fucking year-end bonus that I was on. That raise. It paid me for this shit. I think I lost the point of that long ass fucking story. Point being is this: is that I don't necessarily play in gray areas. I understand people do, and I accept that people do. Doesn't mean I have to like it, which I don't. Because everywhere is not a gray area. Stuff shouldn't need to be just cut and dry and plain. If you're willing to make records, spend your time in the studio writing lyrics, recording songs, and putting it out and shit like that, and have a whole game in an uproar, then you should be bold enough to say a motherfucker's name and go at his fucking throat. Why skippity pat? What's the point of that? I don't see the point in that shit. I don't think it's a far cry from common sense for me to say that shit. What's the point? Like like I just said, two cats fight. Skippity pat pat pat. They ain't really trying to hurt each other, just trying to, tenderize a little bit. Fuck, dude. Rainfire, you don't know. These motherfuckers up here, I got two of them. A supervisor and old man Joe. Right? These motherfuckers cannot pass a little animal that they see somewhere. Be running up on them. I'm like, gotta love white folks for some things, dude. I'm serious. You have to. You have to respect them for some things. Them motherfuckers know they the biggest thing in the world. Because they'll run up on anything. Damn near unafraid. Unassuming at all. Not thinking anything bad will happen to them. And run up on that bitch. We had a whole fucking snake in somebody's house. In their fucking garage. These dudes ain't even there, but they running up the hill to go see it and go grab it. I'm like, the fuck? Open the door and let that shit go about its business. Fuck y'all do it. Oh no, you want to see the picture? Why was you there getting pictures of it? You weren't even on that job. The fuck wrong with you? Bruh, I love it for some shit. Indians have said it before. If it was left to black folks to discover new animals, you'd never know. Because there's some places we ain't gonna be fucking around, and there's some things we're not gonna be fucking around with. Like it's not gonna be happening. Like what I said, it's like, nah, bro. I don't know what kind of shark that is, but I'm not gonna be on this menu. Did you see any stripes? Did you see what it looked like on the bottom? No, I didn't see none of that shit. Way and I was the fuck out of the other way. Don't be doing that shit. So thank you for leaving these fearless, inquisitive motherfuckers here. Because we all can't do that shit. And that's something that I would think is, if you haven't learned through history or nature shows or anything like that, that's something endemic in white people. The Caucasians, they love doing that shit. And I'm blessed for it. I learned a lot about other cultures and animals from these adventurous motherfuckers going out there learning some shit, running up on some shit. I hear you, Aquatech. I know you're talking about Steve Irwin. Steve Irwin Look, man, you know how many years that dude had been doing that even before he got the Stingray? Years, decades. He started doing that shit when he was a kid, like his kids' ages, with his father. That's the part I think gets missed a lot about Steve Irwin. Everybody talks about him like he's a dumbass because he got stung by a stingray, right? That's a fluke fucking thing, dude. It could happen to anybody, right? But what they don't understand, Steve Irwin had a love for something that he shared with his father. Crikey. Crikey. Son of a bitch caught me in the lip, right below the rib cage. Into me heart. Some bitch. But it's not the animal's fault. I kind of scared it. I was in the wrong position. And I paid the price. But point being, that was something he did with his father. And he was into that shit. And because he had had those experiences with his father, getting him over all them goddamn fears, if he had any as a little kid, motherfucker wasn't afraid of no animals. He wasn't afraid of shit out there. He was mindful, but he wasn't afraid. And that's the same thing I told my daughter and my son. Fear is there to help you in case of an emergency. If it's not an emergency, you have to manage that shit. You have to mitigate it. So you can be aware of the dangers, but not fearful. That it's going to happen right now. No, it's not. Read the room. Understand. Yeah, that stingray, he got in a bad position with that stingray. I remember when that shit happened. I was like, damn, they got Steve, motherfucker. Because it was two dudes, I'm telling you. When my kids were younger, it was two nature dudes that I liked that I watched. And I would let them watch. Steve Irwin, because I thought he was crazy as shit when I first saw his thing. Jumping in the bushes and digging up a whole side of a hill to go after this scorpion. I was like, this motherfucker is nuts. And then Jeff Corwin. Jeff Corwin was cool too. He tried to follow, Steve a little bit and do some wild shit, but Jeff was kind of subdued a little bit more. Steve had the accent, with little shorts and the boots on, big ass calves walking out there like he a shit kicker. Oh my God, dude. If he was a hillbilly, you would thought that was Duck Dynasty. That motherfucker had no fear. I love watching Steve. Steve will teach you about some shit because he was. Oh, let me go get this beauty. It's a beauty. I'm gonna put it right back where I got it from. Let it go about her day. Go on, Sheila. Nice. That's how we do. Like that motherfucker. Look. Steve was awesome. Steve was awesome. I miss Steve because I don't watch nature shows like I used to. I don't. I see him here and there. And anybody doing something on there is probably copying him. Probably trying to get that Steve magic. 1 second. There we go. Audio. All right, let's make this transition. CArtisan to sitting on his ass again. I tell you this, I hadn't seen something that entertaining since till Steve Irwin. Jacques Cousteau was my dude. National Geographic. Till Steve Irwin came along, I hadn't seen anything as entertaining. Lock my goddamn car up. There we go. All right. Let us get into the den of debauchery. Guess I'm just in time to come home and watch the X-Men. Camera. Yeah, yeah. Natural folks be out there doing it. I love shows like that. Yeah, I may not like them. Check out. Oh, let me switch this thing. Check out Will Smith on Disney Plus. That was a good show. The Den, the Division, and Jack Daniels. You're right about that shit. You see this cup right here? This is a flask my daughter's boyfriend brought me from his company. It's like stainless steel or whatever. This motherfucker is about to be filled with some alcohol. It is, because I was on call last night and I had forgotten about covering for somebody. And so I end up messing up my plans that I had for that day. So it ended up being some bullshit because I covered for a dude that wasn't there. And then I get to work today and they giving out awards for um, employee of the quarter or some shit like that. That motherfucker got the award. I'm like, how? Oh, he's going above and beyond. How? Nigga, I'm covering his work. This is about a bitch. What the fuck ever. Above and beyond. Y'all don't know the meaning of the word. Even when you see it exemplified, or you got that much hate, that's fucked up. But Jack Daniels Division headquarters. So, yeah, regardless. I think I lost my train of thought having to do all the rest of this shit. That's an unpopular opinion. I like the dude. I helped him out because I don't mind. I like that he works and take care of his family and shit. And I'm not hating on him for the award, but I was like, nigga, that's the second, third time y'all motherfuckers done shit on me to smile in my face and ask me to do some extra shit. That's what you can dislike motherfuckers for. At the same time, you can praise them for being them daredevil ass, exploring the world folks. They also will shit on you. But that's why. What up, Lion? Lion Yo! Not Lion-O, Lion Yo. But that's why I say I'm from California. I don't like all that innuendo and sneak diss and shit. That's why I deal with it all the time here. That is bullshit. It's bullshit. Just come out and say what you got to say. No, Aquateka, he will not return the favor because I am not the type of person to rely on other people. Not. For the most part, put it this way: And Rainfire will get this too. If I had to make a team out of the 15 of these people, I'd probably pick two of them. That'd be it. Because that's how I think of it. I think of it in a team construction or something like that. My friend, right? Who can do what? What's your skills? What's your skill level? What type of work do you do? When I watch you work by yourself, or I come behind work that you've done and I look at it, what does it look like? Does it look like it's good work, or does it look like some shit that I'm going to have to fix all over again? It's about two of them I know that know what they're doing and don't do shitty work. I'd work with those two if I was building my own crew. Everybody else would have to go. Just what it is. And it don't mean they ain't fun at parties and sociable and all the rest of that shit, but understand, um, for me, how I am as a person, sociability is second to being able to do your fucking job. Because I don't hire based on if you kiss my ass or if I like the way you talk to me. I'm not a bitch and you're not getting no pussy from me. My first prerequisite is can you do the work that's being asked of you? And the second thing I look for is how well do you do the work that's being asked of you? If you can't do the work that's being asked of you, or the work that you do is subpar, don't need you here. Plain and simple. No gray area. Because I respect skill and quality. Everybody can't deliver those two. Yeah, cloning is not an option. And if cloning was an option, it'd be funny as hell because I'd wait to see which one of my clones would probably have to do the other one in. Because it ain't gonna be no one's the good clone and one's the bad clone. Oh no. The motherfuckers both gonna be bad. It's gonna be the rule of two in that bitch. Gonna be on some old republic. They're gonna have to figure out which one is gonna survive. Ain't gonna be no bosom buddies, I can tell you that much. May not be. Depends on where the clone is understanding wise, because that clone might see the world completely different. All the same memories and draw those other conclusions that I don't jump to. I'll be thinking like, yeah, fuck this too. And this motherfucker right here, this big nosed yellow bastard. I don't like him. I don't like the sound of his voice. They talking that tough Tony shit. Fuck this dude. Which is a joke. No motherfucker say this shit about me. It would help if I had a microphone on. It would help. It would help. It would help. All right. Now let's see who I can shit on the rest of this day. I heard there was an episode of Bad Batch that was out today, and I thought 14 was the last episode. Apparently not. Fuck me. Fuck my life with listening to this goddamn show. Yeah, when you wonder why you are not first called to fill in for overtime might be the reason. Well, I usually am the first one called to fill in. I'm the first one that they want to look to get some shit work that everybody else don't want to do. Problem they have with me is that I will tell them no, or I ask questions. Whose work was it? Why are you trying to give it to me? They hate that shit. That's the part that pissed me off. Like I said, I don't have nothing against the guy who got the award. Jesus Christ. Sorry, I got all these alerts popping up now since I logged my computer on. I don't have any hate for that dude. I actually like that dude. He's actually cool, right? But the sentiment to me is bullshit because here I am giving him my free time yesterday to cover this dude. So it sounds very disingenuous to give him an award today, talking about how he goes above and beyond to help out. And excuse me, he went above and beyond for him. That's what was slid in there for him. Meaning, it ain't above and beyond at all. It's just doing your fucking job. It is not above and beyond compared to any other tech. But it is above and beyond for him. And you had a hard time looking at it and looking at the metrics and shit. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. You know, I saw my metrics by chance. I saw my metrics. And by metrics, I mean my completion rate. I'm at like 14. I was at almost at 1,500 completed work. The closest person was 500 behind me. But I ain't getting no awards. I'm also back to being the only brother there. So you know what that is. Anything I do, they expect me. I was supposed to be doing that shit anyway. That's why other folks can get awarded for doing simple shit that they should have been doing anyway. Because they got time to be running around and helping other people because they workloads wasn't loaded up on their ass, was it? Kind of helps if that works that way. Not staying late or working past even the supervisor is staying to get work done to help those numbers. Them motherfuckers gone at or before 5, even though they start an hour later than everybody else. So, you know what it is. And that's the part that seems like an insult to me. That's the part that's insulting. I have to sit there and hear that shit. I could have not showed up. Bad workers wonder why they don't get overtime, while people who do the work have to turn their phones off. Well, I don't want to keep bitching about work, but a stink got created yesterday because my main hater tried to have some work kicked off on me. And that's how I found out I was on call, because they was going to try to give me that shit after hours. And I told them no. That is a daytime job because it takes 2 people to do it, and everybody is leaving. I'm not doing that shit tonight. And if I remember correctly, that's so-and-so's work. No, he's been sitting on that shit since last week. Let him do it. Oh, he's going to be mad.
I thought I was the one who had attitude around here. Y'all seem like y'all afraid of somebody else. It ain't me. Obviously. Because you keep wanting to throw shitty ass work at me. So they gave it to somebody else. And that somebody else was pissed off, which by rights he should have been. But they listened to him being pissed off more than they listened to me being pissed off about it when I said something about it. Tried to rationalize it with my ass. Oh, well, no. Shut up and do the work, nigga. Because that's basically what they might as well have said that shit. Because the subversive part of being trying to make excuses is that gray area shit. The actual innuendo is shut up and just do the work, nigga. Lucky we like to let you be here. So, your reward for doing a good job is more work never fails. Yeah, I told one of my team members. This is what we're supposed to call them, because I was a supervisor and I kept giving her more work. She was good though, little shorty, cute girl. She was good at her job. She was really good at her job, and she didn't really want that shit. She didn't want more work. She was just good at her job. And I told her, I was like, look, just like this. If you start doing shittier work, I'll stop giving you more to do. But if you're going to do good work, don't be surprised if I give you something more to do, because I know you can do it. I need somebody who can do good work. You do. I'm recognizing your talents and trying to see you elevate to wherever you want to be. Now, I recommended her for supervisor. She ended up becoming a supervisor. She did, got her own store and everything. Now, she gave it up because she couldn't handle that stress. It's not how she wanted to work. Oh, well. The other person I recommended, he's still doing that shit. He became a supervisor. He's still doing it in the store that I was. He handling the beast. Proud of him. Proud of both of them, because two of them that's supervisors. But the other one didn't need no help. He was already grown. But these two were young. They were young. They were in their 20s. Got the rest of their life planned out. They got skids. They ain't greased, but nigga, you can get everything you want out of this job that people don't even know that much about, and don't know how much you can get the fuck over in this shit. Paid. You can have a whole career here and do whatever the hell you want to. At 22, out of here. And you got a kid, nigga, you covered already. They covered already just from doing this little shit. So, anyway, I've worked for good leaders. I've worked for bad leaders, mostly bad ones. And it's not necessarily that they're bad people. There were some of them too. It's just that leadership is not everybody's calling. And I say that knowing that I may not be anybody's leader. I don't necessarily like leading people. I am a Sigma. I don't necessarily like leading people. I can do it. I don't feel like it. I really don't. I'd rather have 5 competent people working with me than me have to be the one competent person running 4 other people who are incompetent. I remember having a conversation with my ex-wife about having my own construction company. And I told her, man, I had to be like the undercover boss. because I like doing the work more than I like having to sit over somebody's goddamn shoulder and tell them what to do. I can train you, no problem. But having to sit there and I don't like being micromanaged. I don't like micromanaging people. I will give you some autonomy. Do what you need to do. This is what's supposed to be happening. This is our goal. This is what we're trying to hit. However you get this shit done, that's how you get it done. Just don't embarrass me or get us fucked up. Knock it out. I'll come back to you in a bit. I don't micromanage. I don't. If you need me, call. I'll be right there. I'm flying in like Superman. But otherwise, I expect you to perform and be competent in that performance. Aquatesi Worth quote, you don't need raises because you guys have almost unlimited overtime. So glad we had the regime change. That almost unlimited overtime. How's that almost? See, this job I work, it's kind of corporate. Okay, it's a corporation. The company that owns this is a big corp. It's multinational. Okay, it's a multinational company with a bunch of arms. My part of it that I do is one part of it. That's just what it is, right? There is not unlimited of anything. Corporate wise, you can get that a little bit. But usually if they say it's unlimited, you got to work for the government where they're just going to be running in the red and nobody gives a shit. Good work, but the environment could drive you fucking nuts because of the human ticks that get in there and just sit there and suck on a tit and take up space. Yeah, micromanaging does take way too much goddamn energy, dude. Is that a clock rider? Yeah, a clock watcher should get sent home quick. I got a construction mind state. I got a California construction mind state. Nigga, it is not time for you to be watching your watch the whole time. If you got time to sit there, like I told the guys at this job this, right? Dude I was talking about, old guy on our job, Uncle Joe, right? Old man Joe. He got an award from the company because he was on time all year. All year. He had punches on the dot. All year. Start time, lunch time, back from lunch, end of shift. He had perfect times the whole fucking year. He got an award for that shit. They flew his ass all the way to Florida, gave him an award, all this shit, right? Everybody was like, hey, can you believe that shit? I said, yeah, I can. Because he got time to do that shit. Because he ain't busy. He ain't doing no fucking work. I said, if I was a supervisor and I saw that shit, I'd wonder how the fuck he did it. Because I'd be asking questions. Why do you have so much time? To be able to sit in front of the clock and punch out on the dot. That's some hellified OCD, or you got a shitload of free time. When I can look at the other people on the roster and all of them ain't clocking out at this time, so why are you? How are you doing that? I'd be on his ass, personally, because I want to figure out what the fuck you're doing. You must got a lot of free time. That means you sitting there watching the clock. And if you got time to be sitting there watching the clock, how much time did it take away from you not doing your fucking job? Could have been helping somebody else get done so both of y'all could clock out at the same time. You could have finished another work order so it don't have to be on somebody else's plate tomorrow. No, that wouldn't have been yeah. You can give him an award for that shit, and I'd be digging into his ass like an FBI probe to find out why he was making perfect times like that. In the whole company, Oh no, nigga. Red flag. Red flag. What up, Azurius? Depends on the government. Leslie has to have OT approved before she can take any. Yeah, Azurius, that's how my shit is. My shit is lightweight, unlimited, within reason. Within reason, right? Like today, I didn't tell my supervisor I was staying late. I was finishing my last work order. He can go on the computer and look and see what the fuck I'm doing because it's all metrics. It's all clocking in, clocking out of shit. You can see where the hell I am. If you don't believe me, call the fucking resident and ask him, is there a big black nigga in your house? Yes, it is. Okay, then. Never mind. But he don't trip on it. Then I get my OT and I go about my business. Fine. That's how I like it. Because you don't need to. Well, I'm one of the few people there that you don't need to be micromanaging me. I'll tell you what I need and what I need you to do. Because I still have that mind state. I've been a supervisor. This bug is trying to decide if this is a bug or a spider. This one thing moving too goddamn fast. So you don't need to tell me shit. There's very little you need to have to tell me. You can ask me some stuff, a lot. You don't have to tell me shit. They say almost because the overtime budget would run out before the end of the year because they didn't want to feel. See, they fucked up at our job because we were getting behind. They hired a bunch of people. They filled up every position, and they didn't need to, but they did, and they filled them with a bunch of dead legs. I got two people right now that can't do shit. Without one can't do nothing without the other. Like they fucking conjoined twins and they never knew each other in life at all until they showed up on this job. And if one ain't doing nothing, the other one ain't either. You're just standing around talking, looking stupid. And these motherfuckers getting paid some good money to not be able to do nothing by themselves. I've told them that shit many a time. Like some of the stuff that I see them doing that they have to have both of them doing, I said, yeah, jobs I was on, you'd have got fired for that shit. If it took two of you to do it, they would have fired both of you. Because they hire man for man, which means you need to be able to do this, and this solo. Yeah, we'll give you a partner, but that's so that both of y'all can get double that work done. Not two of y'all to get one man's work done. Mm-mm. What a fucking waste of money. I wouldn't pay for that shit. I personally wouldn't pay for that shit. So I tell them, you're lucky. You need to be in charge. Because I would fire a lot of people. or they'd get on the stick. They'd hate my fucking guts. Don't matter. You ain't got to kiss my ass. You just got to do your job. Let's see this shit. I tell you, Google Photos is fucked up. It be putting some shit together that I don't know why I be doing this shit sometimes. It just made this whole little slideshow of this one chick. I'm like, who asked you about that shit? So and so through the years. Like, nigga, why is you doing this? You know, I'm gonna send this shit right to her ass. They probably ain't gonna do nothing but make her ass depressed. Yeah, let me send that shit off because I'm an amateur psychologist, so I like to see people's reactions. And seeing people react is actually fun. Done. Second. Google did it again. There we go. And let's see. What does Zuri say? Dig deep. Goddamn right. They should. The amount of money they waste on shit. Don't be one of the unlucky ones who can only get comp time in lieu of overtime. Yeah, that's a law. That shit has been in California for a couple of years now. You got to bank your 80, your 40, 80 hours, or your 40 hours. If you're on a weekly, you got to get your 40 first before they give you overtime. If you're on a 2-week cycle of getting paid, you got to lock your 80 before you get your overtime. So they make sure you don't get 40 hours. So I have to pay you overtime. Make that OT. I do. Taxman love me. Micromanage you. The fuck would anyone want to do that? Exactly, Azurius. Why? Because it makes them feel good. Secure in some senses that they get to tell me some shit. I don't know. So I get pissy about the shit that I want people who are competent to always move up and not sit at the bottom. Because if you don't, then these incompetent motherfuckers move up. And that means anybody else competent coming through the door can never get past them. They will suffer under them because they won't let that motherfucker rise up past you. If you hire a bunch of screw ups and or lazy people, you have to micromanage them. But good hires should learn how to do almost everything you do. Exactly, Rainfire. I am one of those hires. There is very few things on that job I cannot do. And some of the stuff I learned while I was there. So they don't have to tell me shit. That's why I say they don't tell me anything. They ask me. And I'm very specific on that. You can ask me to do anything. You ain't got to tell me shit. Because I am a good enough hire where I know how to keep busy if the need becomes to keep busy, which I hate having to do, but I can do it. Otherwise, I have work to do and I'll be doing that. And I don't mind that. It's a little easier doing that than running around trying to hustle work. A little easier. It gives me time to focus on other things at the same time. But only hustling work, I'm only doing that. I don't have time to focus on anything else. Nothing. And I've done that part. Don't particularly enjoy it. Probably a sense of power. Owner of the business I work for has a power complex that he has need to micromanage because he has to feel like he wants people to remember that he's in charge. Where if you actually a good employer, people always know that shit. You don't have to remind them. They're very aware of it. One of my favorite Employers. He wasn't even my employer. He owns a ironworkers company. Started in Richmond. This little Latino dude, him and his brothers, right? Owns a whole company. He got a bunch of workers, good hands, all of them good. That motherfucker do so much for them people, and he's not the type of employer that he's trying to buy off loyalty from his workers. He is just somebody who was a solid worker and started smart enough to start a company and smart enough to hire competent workers. And because he gives them that respect back and gives them things that they actually need, like he ain't showing up and giving you a gift card for $20 at Starbucks when you've been asking about your fucking raise. No. You make sure you get your raise. And when it comes around to doing this work and he see you putting in and really trying to help the team, he will actually look out for you. If you got into a jam, he'd probably be there to help your ass out. Because that's who he is. His workers love him. He is one of the best employers I had. I wish I was a fucking iron worker so I could work for him. I wish I was. I'm a carpenter. I only knew him because my ex-wife worked in the same building as him, and he was cool with her. And I ended up knowing his damn goddaughter. We went to school together. Cool as shit. Yeah, Christmas parties. He ain't throwing no bullshit Christmas party where, yeah, it was some food and stuff like this. And yeah, y'all got some little sippy cups and shit like that. No, nigga. These dudes was getting companied, sold in logo jackets and hats and all the shit like you got from a union hall. He getting that shit for them, each one of them. Each person in his company got their own shit. I'm like, what? He spent that? Like, I got one of them damn things, and they high quality. I got one of them sweatshirts right there in my closet right now. I keep that bitch. That shit is warm, it's thick, it's comfy, it's durable. I'm like, this nigga know his shit, dude. Take care of his workers. Embroidered logos and everything. Watch, hold on. Shout out to Jesse V. This is one of his company Christmas gifts. A hoodie. I've had this hoodie for over 10 years. This motherfucker has not worn out at all. If you can see it, you can see how thick this bitch is. Thick as shit. Company logo. Embroidered. This ain't no iron on. This ain't no sticky. No. Thick, durable, good color, none of this girly shit. I got a vest and a beanie just like it. That motherfucker took care of his workers. And his company kept growing because of that kind of shit. He took care of his workers. They did good work. They got bigger jobs. He got a bigger site. They kept getting. It was like a family. And it wasn't family. I wanted to work for that motherfucker. From seeing how he treated his workers, like, shit, I'll work there. That's how people used to be when they would want to work at Google. That's how good the motherfuckers being taken care of. Shit, I want to work there. They getting it. And they actually kind of respect you. Fuck. That's the place I want to work. But that's how it is in the trades. If you're a good superintendent, foreman, or something like that, people will work for you. Especially if you're the type of one to look after your workers. My second one, the one that hired me on at my semi-corporate job, like my big sister Rose, she another one. She is fierce about her workers. Fierce. Her team, about her team, she fierce as fuck. You look, nobody talks shit about her team. Nobody got to say shit to her team. And I learned part of that mind state from her when I was working for her. Oh no, this is your team. You run it. But they have to understand it. You got to have a buy-in. They got to buy it. If they know you stand up for them, they'll stand up for you. Following that method, my team got shit done that hadn't been done in my stores for years. At least 4. We was making them money. Just like when I was in the trade, working for the guy who got me into it, his team made the company money, not lost it. In construction, we didn't lose money. We made money because we was good, we were competent, and we were fast. And when you can start finishing shit before deadlines show up, it's already done. You already ahead. Nigga, motherfuckers just start eyes glazing over like, we making money, nigga. You about to get that bonus. Yes. Yes, we will. And everybody eat good. Missouri says, shit, my trade job, they don't give 2 fucks about us unless we're in the airlines. GA were underpaid and overstressed. That's a damn shame, too, because it's supposed to be a trade. That's what the trade is supposed to do. That's supposed to be, if you think about it this way, and I can tell you, I'm getting this from this book. I still don't have it. The motherfucker who lost my book, I'm still mad that he lost my shit. But it's from a book from the Carpenters Union here that we got when we went to school as an apprentice. And it's called Apprentice in the Trade. And we had this book, and it was the history of unions and trades, right? In America. It was a really interesting read. I let him borrow it because he was too fucking lazy to buy his own book or keep up with the shit, and then he lost my shit. Like, nigga, I wanted to finish reading that. So it goes like this, that your union workers, your trade workers are supposed to be the best. That's what they're supposed to be. Only at times surpassed by workers in the private sector who have come from the trade, took what they learned from the trades and actually made their own businesses and shit and became the cream of the crop. Right? And it don't matter what trade it is. You're supposed to be the cream. You're supposed to be the cream of the crop because you're doing that shit every day. Every day. And there's supposed to be some standards. If it's a trade job, there should be a trade school for it that teaches you how to do that shit to perfection. You're supposed to be the cream of the crop. But what has happened is, because they were always like good jobs, when they got, more rules and shit and made it a little safer and stuff, you can make a good living, buy houses and shit like that, and live your life, send your kids to school and shit like that because you swing a hammer, put shitty pipes together, whatever. More people start flooding into that shit who just wanted to get paid money, but didn't give a fuck about the trade. And that's where the trades end up getting really weak. To the extent now that they kind of bend over for the owners. Because some of them get paid off to sell out their members. To push some bullshit on their members that ain't really in their best interest. But if they can get their members to buy that shit, they can get a kickback. They can reap some of the rewards off the top. So hearing what you're saying, that you gotta trade and they don't give a fuck about you. Understand, the less they give a fuck about you, the more vital you actually are. It's usually how it works. You step on a job site, you have just a construction job site. You got laborers, you got carpenters, you got electricians, millwrights, I say plumbers, sheet metal guys, metal stud guys, HVAC people, all kinds of people that do work on that to make that whole fucking building, right? People who get paid the lowest are the laborers. Right above them are carpenters. But carpenters do most of the fucking work. That's most of the skilled work. That's why I always have that joke. I always remember this bullshit session we were having at the job, on a job site with an electrician. And he was a journeyman electrician. I was an apprentice carpenter. I'm probably like a 70% or 70% of full pay. And we just bullshitting on lunch and shit like that because that's what we do. And he said some shit about little carpenters get paid because they weren't really worth that much, because electricians usually get paid the most. And they don't do as much work at all. But the reason they get paid, because they have a stricter union. Their union is more tight. It's hard to get in the electricians union. You got to know your shit. And because they have the idea that they're the brainy people, they end up pulling more money. A lot more. Because I watched the dude make more money than I was making all day, sitting his fat 300-pound ass on a bucket looking in a hole, watching wires get pulled. Ain't bad work if you can get it. Point being is, carpenters take a lot of shit. Well, carpenters do the most work. And the joke that I made with this guy is that if you take all the carpenters off this job, what do you have as an electrician? A pile of fucking wire and conduit. Because I've never seen a building standing with just wire and conduit. Never. You can have a building with no electricity, because carpenters built that shit. But you ain't never seen a building built with no walls, no floors, no none of that shit, and just electrical wiring. No. Nah. And you never will. So what we do as that master craft is build what you motherfuckers will work off of. We are the foundation. Because the rest of y'all shit don't get done without us. Never seen a building just put together with plumbing pipes. Never seen a building put together with just false work on the outside. Just the glass and glazing just standing up 40 feet high. No, never seen that shit. And you never fucking will. But in that totem pole of shit, carpenters get paid the least. And what we get paid is good, but it's always the least. Everybody else that works off of us gets paid more than we do. And that's why they like to talk shit. Because as they see it, we are less valuable. No, it's more of us. So we get paid less. Because if they paid us more, they have to pay you bitches less. Yeah, building can't stand without a skeleton. Human being can't stand without a skeleton. Human being without a skeleton look like them floating fat bodies in Wall-E. X-rayed the shit, the skeleton is way in there underneath all that fat. Well, Zur's on the other side of the game. That game is to make it look like everyone needs you so that their upper management will not fire them. Been there, got the t-shirt. Yeah, sort of. Definitely a fact for airlines, but most of us GA are one or two mechanics. Hager, yeah, that's right. I never told you guys this because it's his business to tell. But my boy Azurius, he is an airplane mechanic, which I find it fucking fascinating as fuck. And he works on actual airplanes, making sure those private owners can do what they want. I'm sure he's getting paid good money because he bought a house. I ain't bought a house. Can build one. I ain't bought one. Yeah, building can't stand without a skeleton and a foundation. No, it cannot. See, Aquateki, that's why I take some pride in what I do. I know I can build a building from the dirt to the roof. Solo. If I had to. Right? You would need some people for some things, like rafters and shit. But I know I can design it. I know I can draw it on a drafting table. I know I can draw the blueprints. I can draw up the electrical plans. I can put it all together. I might call an electrician to come put in this damn sub panel and shit like that because I don't like fucking with that stuff. Mm-mm. But from the sub panel, you get the fuck out of here. Take your $200, $300 for putting in that sub panel, giving me my drops that I need, and get the fuck out of here. I got this. What? The rest of the outlets, the lighting and all the rest of that shit? No, I can do that myself. I don't need you for none of that shit. But make no mistake about it, every one of these people up the chain on this construction pyramid think they can build. All of them do. And if you go into their house, if you've ever been in a situation where you've looked at houses that people worked in the trade, worked on their own house, but their trade was not what they were doing, them houses is fucked up. They always think they know how to do some shit. What the fuck they doing at all? Always some Mitch Mac fucked up like, who did this? This is just ugly. Ugh. Good Lord. This looked like a plumber lived here. Yeah. He said he was in the trade. I think he was a plumber. Yeah, it looked like a fucking plumber did this shit. It wasn't no carpenter, I can tell you that much. Jesus. Y'all got to knock some money off of this damn house. Y'all got to knock some money off of this because we got to pull all of this shit out of there. The worst stuff I seen was my friend, lady. She's a lawyer. Her husband's a lawyer. They bought a house. This is the friend that one room in her house is everything that I've worked on. Right, I put the floor in. I did chimney wrap and all the rest of this stuff, drywall, all the shit. Right. She calls it my room because that's the front room. When you come in the house, that's the one I did. Right. When she got that house and I went and saw it, and I was looking at all the tile that was in there, and it's all different tile all over the place. And I asked her, the person who lived here, what did they do? She said, I think they worked in the trade or something. I said, I bet he worked at a tile company. Something like that. That's why he had all this goofy ass colors and shit like that all over the place. I was like, yeah, because he's just throwing some shit in there. No symmetry, no art, no feng shui. It was funky shui, but it wasn't funging at all. It wasn't functional. Mm-mm. So they spent years redoing all that shit to make it make some sense. Because somebody thought they was a carpenter all of a sudden when that ain't never been their trade. That is never what they spent time to learn how to do. And some people spend years learning how to do that shit. Like me. He said, my man. We got 2 citations we work on regular, but for the most part, it's pipe, archers, diamonds, and various Cessnas. Oh shit! Okay, got you. Well, when all you have is a monkey wrench, everything becomes a pipe. Yeah, exactly. Dude, I heard some of the dumbest shit today too about that. The a coworker who got tasked with doing somebody else's work that they're supposed to be fucking doing. Right? He's pissed off, but then he was in there bitching because he didn't have the tools necessary to do the damn job. And he's bitching to the higher up that they need to provide these tools so he can do the job. And I'm like, a fucking small torch so you can sweat and do some plumbing work on copper? If you don't spend $60 and go buy you a torch from Home Depot, this is your job. Are you fucking kidding me? You mean all these people that's running into these people's house to do this kind of work, it's only me and another dude who have actual torches, and neither one of us are fucking plumbers? But everybody is here supposed to be doing some of this work? Driving me crazy. Like, what am I talking about tonight? You. There you go. Stop asking me fucking questions. Yeah, sweating the pipe is a lost art. It is. And that's what he was sitting there talking about. He didn't know how to do it. This motherfucker been working for this company longer than me. This is his second stop from another state. Moved from another state back here with this company. You don't know how to sweat a pipe? You can't even go buy a torch? Nigga. Yeah, I agree, Azuris. If it's not a specialty tool, you should own it. I own a bunch of specialty tools. I told y'all, I'm a geek of many trades, of many stripes. I like tools. Well, strolling around a Home Depot and looking at tools like, what do you buy? What do you use this for? Okay, that's how that shit works. Okay, yeah, I might have a need for that. I will. I'm not one of these goofball weekend warriors that just got a bunch of tools in the garage and don't know how to use them, motherfuckers. Oh no, your job is to know how to use this. So when I started doing sweat and pipe, working with my boy Anthony, and he was showing me how to do it, when I got paid, I went and bought myself a torch and some copper pipe and built myself a jig and start practicing sweating and soldering and copper and pipes. And fucked up angles and shit, because that's usually what's going to end up happening. But that's me. This motherfucker never had to, because he could always kick this work off onto somebody else to do. So he never had to learn how to do this shit. Never had the desire to learn. And what the fuck are you good for? Talking shit? Nigga. Only people I know that get paid to talk shit are stand-up comedians. And they have to be funny. I see plumbers running around with those pro press tools the day. Yeah. I've seen that tool. I haven't seen one to buy it, but I've seen it demonstrated. I thought, okay, that's kind of cool. It's like, if y'all look on my Instagram, sometimes when I click on stuff on Instagram and I share it, it might be some people just doing some construction shit, some engineering or some clever engineering or somebody using their brain and thinking of something new and novel to use to do this job. That's like a construction guy's dream, how to make his first $1 million. It's usually by making some tool and marketing some tool that we use all the time, that we have to make for ourselves and use all the damn time. 1,000,001 money making ideas out there in the dirt. All you have to do is have the initiative to figure out how to make it and market it. Somebody will find you, especially in this days of Shark Tank and shit. Somebody will find you. They make you rich, keep you from having to swing your hammer at all. You ain't got to put on your work boots. You ain't got to go get dirty. None of that shit. Carpentry comes in handy. A friend of the family had narcolepsy, fell asleep trying to fry fish, burned his house down, used the insurance money to rebuild it himself. Most expensive fish ever. Yes. Most expensive fish ever. The most expensive fucking nap ever. It ain't the fish's fault. It's the fact that he fucking fell asleep. But he rebuilt it himself, which means he kept a lot of the money. He got to keep a lot of that money. That fish gained him, boy. Talk about Jesus taking 2 fishes and a loaf of bread and feeding all them people. Look, that one fish feed his family for a minute. I need a fish like that. My dad was showing me how to sweat a pipe at 8 years old. I could tell you that's what I did with my fucking kids. I told you I had my daughter and my son hanging drywall using a screw gun. She could barely hold it with one hand. She holding it with 2 hands and big ass gloves hanging off her finger like she got claws and shit. Put your shoulder into it, baby girl. Don't be afraid of it. Hold it. Don't be like, yeah, no. Rip that motherfucker. She got it. Why? I like capable people. Especially ones I fucking created. Sorry. I'm sitting here with 3 pairs of safety wire pliers just because I won't be caught out without a pair anymore. Plus, I come in handy with a lot of different things. Motherfucker, besides my standard issue Richmond knife that I carry, always a Leatherman. Always a Leatherman. And apparently, because I'm always at work, certain shit ends up riding home with me in my pockets. So what do I got in my pocket today that I have to remember to take back to work and put back in my damn van? What's that? Outlet tester. A nifty tool for sticking in the outlet, and it will tell you if there's power in it, one, because it'll light up, but it will also tell you if it's hooked up correctly. But you can also test your GFCI, your ground breaker, to make sure that it shuts off like it's supposed to if it's getting too much juice through there. Plastic, couple lights, couple prongs. Simple. You fit in your pocket. Save your ass a lot of grief. And a lot of time. Now, it may only be for outlets, but if you're smart, you can use it for a couple other uses too. And this is my second one. That's the one from Mr. Ed. Yeah, it is nifty as fuck, especially in your house. You got an old house. You have an older house, right? If you're going through your house and you want to rewire that bitch, this will tell you if you had a ground, if you had a faulty wire, if your switching, if your outlet is not working correctly. You could find it. You could find which one wasn't working. Then you'd be able to fix it quick. Yeah, see, look, see, Aquatech, Facts. This Tesla was one of the dirty tools I bought after purchasing my home. When I got on, I didn't have one of these. I didn't know what it was for. I didn't have one of these until I got on this job. And my mentor, Irish dude, he got me my first one. He bought the first one for me and gave it to me. So you know what I did? When I got somebody under me, I bought one for them. I don't know how to do this. Hey, here, I got you. Use this. This is what you use it for. Same shit he did for me. And I was experienced and hadn't had one. This motherfucker is useful. Now I got like 2 of them, 2 or 3 of them. I keep up with my shit, so I don't need to buy a lot of them. 1920s? Hell yeah. That motherfucker about due. Your house is about due with some ripped 1920s. You probably got lath and plaster all over that bitch. Oh my God. One time when you're ready, it's gonna be time to rip them fucking lath and plaster off them walls, them studs. Get that motherfucking studs all lined up and get you some new drywall on there. But before that, you're going to rerun all them wires. Pull out that old shit, put in some new lines, put in some cable for your computer and all that shit. You'll rerun all of that shit. So you can have like having a USB outlet in your plug receptacle, so you don't have to use an adapter to charge your phone. You just plug it into the outlet. You can get you a new sub panel, and you're gonna rerun all them goddamn wires. It's easier if you tear the fucking walls out and do that shit room by room, if that's what you want to do, and redo all that shit. That and the fucking windows. I don't know if you can call me for that lath and plaster. I fucking hate lath and plaster. I fucking hate pulling that shit out because it's probably chicken wire inside that shit. That's fucking irritating. That shit is irritating as all get out and messy as fuck. Messy as fuck. You could take out one room. I remember we did this when we remodeled a bathroom in Oakland, Castro Valley area. You know, and in California, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. It's the opposite side of Nolan Zoo in Oakland, the Oakland Zoo, right? We had one small closet that came into the bathroom to take out. Tearing that bitch out, we ended up with 2 truckloads of shit to take to the dump. Wasn't even that big. Wasn't even 8 foot by 4 foot. Nothing big. That fucking, I fucking can't stand lath and plaster. Can't stand that shit. Oh my goodness. They ran that shit everywhere, and they had the chicken wire all in it because they tried to be, fuck you. You take all that shit out of there. Yeah, windows are the first priority. Since every window is every window in this new place is a single pane. It's not a pain in the summertime. It is a pain in the ass in the wintertime. But I talked to the owner. No, I found out why the owner hasn't replaced them because the building is historic. So they won't let him alter it. I'm like, fuck you. Take the loss, nigga. Look, hire somebody like me. We could put the same trim back on the outside. We can. But you need to rip these goddamn windows out of here. Fuck these single panes. You need to pull that shit out of here. For real. Pull the shit out of here, put in some new vinyls, some double panes, and you'll get another fucking 30 years out of that shit. What do you say? Got to break my habit of putting stuff in my pockets. My flashlight turned on in my pocket. I thought I was smelling food I was cooking. I like pockets. That's the thing. I like pockets. So I always stick shit in my pockets so I don't have to carry a lot of shit. But I usually carry a lot of stuff. But I like pockets. And it's usually by the time I get home, I try to make sure I take everything out of my pockets that's work related and leave it in my van. But by the time I get home, it's like, what the like, I'll show you something right now. Some circles, this will make a chick hot, right? Take this off the screen. I'm going to go into this pocket and I'm going to pull out what? Fucking screws. Fucking machine screws. Why do I have painted machine screws? Because I had to put in a lot of goddamn cover plates today from people doing dumb shit. Like, I don't know. You went in the hallway, and the code is you need to have a smoke detector and a CO2 detector in the hallway. So the dumb motherfuckers put a combo detector up there, which is good for smoke and CO2. But then also put another smoke detector up next to it. What? Fuck do you do that for? Dumb. So I had to take one of them out. And a resident unhooked that shit from the system and took the battery out of it. I'm like, so you want to run the risk of burning up in this bitch and never getting alerted at all. You just die, right? Because you don't want to hear the chirp and don't understand when it chirp, change the fucking battery, moron. Or call us and we'll come change it. No, you unhook the whole fucking detector and take the battery out of it. Not to mention the dumb shit of the people who put these two goddamn smoke detectors up side by side. Stupid shit. The worst one was they did that shit on a vaulted ceiling over a banister. I'm standing up there like I'm trying to join the fucking circus. Like, these dumb motherfuckers. The fuck did you do this for? Oh my, who was watching these kids? Plaster is very messy and dealing with 1950s plaster sheetrock right now. Yeah, put your mask on. Asbestos. You don't want no cancer. Lower your cancer risk. You know, respiratory problems. That shit. Keep it a little bit moist. Yeah, lead paint. Yep. Lead is 1920s lead and asbestos. Definitely lead. So mask up. And I ain't talking about no what N97 and whatever the fuck that was for COVID. No, get your ass a respirator with the tanks on the side so you look like Jen Rowe in that bitch, and then rip that shit out of there. And tint. Put plastic over the door of the room that you're working in. That's why I suggest one room at a time so you don't have them all fucked up. Put plastic over that door like you making a kill room from Dexter, and then go in there with a mask on and get that shit out of there. Open a window, put a fan in the window, blow that shit outside. Preferably not into your neighbor's window, but outside. Put it in the air. So much asbestos in the basement. All about the heater. Kind of cool having a basement in California, though. It is kind of cool having a basement in California. It is. The fact that you got a basement in California is like, wow, how'd you get that? You know, bodies down there, is it? Yeah, anything before 1970s is lead based. That's just what it is. We just had to go over that whole fucking hour and a half training for that shit recently again. Oh, Coast A9 light. One of the best pen lights I've ever had to use or purchase. Highly recommended. I think I have one of those because it's a Coast. It's a Home Depot brand. I think I do have one of those. This is not a Coast. Don't get me started on my tool fetish because I do like lights. like a kid on the spectrum. Got flashlights. Got two sitting right here in front of me. And so I looked at it. Is that a Coast one? No, that's not a Coast one. That's a little cheap shit I bought from the auto parts store with the LEDs on it. So I can get that bright light. Great, the battery's dead. So much for that shit. Embarrassing. And the Darwin Award goes to. Don't get me started. Pace about it. Yeah, there is lead abatement. You can do that too if it's really bad. You gotta move it. You just need to follow your safety procedures. That's basically it. If you have a house that old, you do want to get that shit out of there. Especially if you plan to have a child, get the shit the fuck out of there. If you just want to kill yourself and your wife, you can leave it in there. It don't matter. Yeah, you're gonna have. Look, I'm gonna tell you this is serious. This week, doing these preventative maintenance, I found at least 3 Magic players, and I'm like, Jones, 3 dudes that play Magic. Walked into one dude's house. He had his cards out. He was trying to make him a deck on a Tuesday night. Said he was going to play. I said, where are you going to play at? Because I've been itching for a game. Somewhere close by? I just don't know. Wall candy kids can eat because it's sweet. Yeah, they used to use lead on sweetened cereal back in the day. Use lead on everything. He used lead on kids' toys, motherfucker. I'm a 70s baby. You know what that means? It's probably a lead in me right now. Probably will be setting off metal detectors. I didn't have enough to kill me, I guess. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I gave y'all enough of geek tool talk and unpopular opinions. What was the other unpopular opinion I thought I had? I think my new boss is racist, but it'll remain to be seen. But I thought about the conversation I'm going to have with him when I get a chance to talk to him by himself, and I'm going to ask him who was the first person who said something negative about me to him, and tell him that's usually the person that ain't doing shit. And the second one is the person that co-signed everything. Because now I got to deal with this shit all over again. Because they are one thing about psychology that's fun. It makes people wildly predictable. The more you know about them, the more you see the patterns. And the more you see the patterns, the more you looking like Neo. Like, these motherfuckers don't do nothing original. It's just what it is. So I get to deal with that again because he didn't give me that look like I like Negroes or I'm cool with them. And he gave me that look like, damn, what are you doing here? So I get to deal with that in the meantime. But that is the normal day. It was the black man's stress. Mm. Mm. All right. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Thank y'all for listening to this Wednesday, New Comic Book Day BS. I will watch X-Men 97 tonight, probably right after I shut this off. But I got to get something to eat and some more libation. I need to fill this empty cup with something worth drinking, change my clothes, take a shower, and then sit back down here and entertain myself with some X-Men and torture myself with some Bad Batch. Yeah. But in the meantime, like, share, subscribe, click the bell on the subscription so you get alerts when I do stuff like this, when I just go live, when I go live and talk about whatever is on my mind at the time. But that's it. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.